to the stream. Am I muted? No. Yeah, we're on a streak. That's like 4 weeks in a row where I have unmuted myself. I've welcomed everybody to the stream. Hey, everybody. Welcome on in. This is the Tyranid Army list review show. Happens every Monday around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. Where we review Tyranid lists. And yes, people are commenting in chat. Ozlith is commenting on the poll that I put up about which army I should start collecting. And Votann won by a good margin. So, of course, the three options were Votann, Eldar, and then like World Eaters or Khorne Demons. And so Votann won by a large margin. So, of course, I thought the best thing for me to do in order to start my Votann army was buy a box of Fire Dragons, Lycus, and Fuegan. So I'm very sorry. I think Votann won, but I think I'm going to be, I think I'm playing a little bit of Eldar. So we'll see. Sylvanian, if you can describe to me what the song sounds like through your messages, I will let it play for the entire length. If you can, in chat, describe the sound of that song, we'll make sure next week we hear the whole song. But Ozlith, I probably am still going to, there's still probably going to be some Votann on the stream relatively soon. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, this is the Tyranid Army list review show. We're going to have a delightful time reviewing lists today. But in addition, it's Meme List Monday, folks. Meme List Monday. All right. So, beep, 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 boop, boo, doo, boo, 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 doo, boo, ba. Sylvanian. That was incredible. Yeah, what are people painting? So Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a meme list, and we're going to vote on it through Super Chats. Honestly, if nobody Super Chats, we will still do a meme list at the end of stream. But if you want your vote for your meme list, well, the ideas that I came up with. So the first meme idea is Hungry Hippo. So this is going to be triple horror specs in something. Okay, we'll play 3 horror specs, maybe some psychophages. That sounds like an assimilation swarm list. What's up, Travis? Oh, very cool, David. I'd be interested to see it. Hungry Hippos. Singleton list. This means that I can only take one of each unit in the list. I can't have any duplicates. So unfortunately, I can't have 2 gargoyles. That's not allowed. That would be illegal. Norn on the Cob. That means we're going to have at least 3 Norn Emissaries. So that'll be cool. And then we'll see what we can build around that. Another thing is Lictors are us. Probably Vanguard Onslaught, but we're going to throw as many Lictors in as possible. And then see if we can kind of build around that. One old guy and his friends. That's Old One Eye. Old One Eye is going to be the only character. And then we can see how we build a list around just Old One Eye and see where that happens. And then Bugs That Hug. We're looking for any bugs that do this, you know? So I think we run as many Screamer Killers as I have, which is only 2. And then we kind of go from there. So yeah, it seems like chat's popping off a little bit. Hey, Jordan, on Saturday I entered my first 2K tournament and ended up winning 3rd. Awesome. Also took home Best Xenos. Thanks for all the videos. They helped a lot. Incredible, Parker. It's very nice. Jordan, one of the things in Votann lore is that they got a giant spaceship that devours planets. Sheesh. Ozlith, that is, if you're trying to convince me to go Space Dwarves, that is a good way to do it. Cody, hey, you reviewed my list last week, and I ended up taking it to a tournament last weekend. 2-1, beating Chaos Knights, Admech, and losing to Imperial Knights. Cody, what was your list? What was it? What detachment was it? I'm glad you had some pretty good success. Travis, you ran a Harspex against Death Guard and ate a Termi Captain by Yoshi Tugging Precision. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. I apologize if you were really excited to see 120 Termagants this Wednesday. maybe a different stream somewhere. Oh, Parker. Oh, you guys. Wow, we have people that know each other in chat. You guys were in the same tournament. You were Invasion Fleet. Yeah, I did Subterranean Assault at an RTT this weekend, and it did not do well. I went first into 4 big nights, big chaos nights, and I bounced, and then I lost all of my models, basically. And then the next game, I played good friend of the stream, Kyle, and he played Tau, which that was kind of spooky as well. And that was a good game, too. But Tau has a lot of units to just, like, screen. So that was a hard matchup for Subterranean Assault as well. So I ended up losing. I went 1-2 at this tournament. I beat Orcs round 3, but it was a tough time for the Tyranids this weekend. Yeah. Nice. Sweet. Okay, cool. So we'll be checking in on our meme list as we go. We're going to start on our first list. If you would like to vote for any of these list ideas, Hungry Hippos, Singleton List, Norn on the Cob, Lictors Are Us, One Old Guy and His Friends, and Bugs That Hug. If you would like to add a vote to any of these, feel free to super chat. But no worries. Regardless, let's head on over to our first list. Whoop. Oh. Wrong way. Oh, geez. 13. Okay. Owen Chance. Is Owen in the chat today? Maybe he missed it. He says, here, let's see if we can make... All right, I'm good. Emergency list post. Shout out to the man, Nix. Shout out, Nix. Good friend of the stream as well. Just an assimilation list I've been theory crafting. I'd really like to get a cool even 2,000 points if possible. And he's saying that because he's at 1995, I'm assuming. Let's take a look. We've got Broodlord, Parasitic Biomorphology, Hive Tyrant with Instinctive Defense. Ozlith, I don't believe you posted a list. I think I've gone through all of your lists, actually. And a Neurotyrant with Biophagic Flow. Did we go through this already? I think I might have went over this last week. Let's take a look at it anyways. We've got the Gargoyles. After that, a Biovore. 10 Gene Stealers. Lictor. 3 Pyrovores. Tyrant Guard. Norn Assimilator. Psychophage, Tyrannifex, and Tyrannifex. I think we did go over this as one of the extra lists. Yeah, I mean, Ozlith, I could be wrong, but when I pulled the list, I did not see a list for you. So let me know. I think we did go over this last week. I think the things that I was saying is awesome. Top 5 too. Awesome. Fantastic job, Cody. Man, a bunch of Tyranid menaces in your guys' meta. So Gene Stealers are interesting, but like I think we didn't. No, I think I actually liked this list. I think it was pretty good. I think Parasitic Biomorphology is kind of strong. Like the Gene Stealers get up to, what is it? They get Strength 6, right? And then if you kill something, then they get, oh my gosh, they get 50 attacks? Woo! That would be crazy. 50 attacks with the Gene Stealers if you're able to pop the additional step for the enhancement. Seems pretty good. Double Lictors, 3 Pyrovores. Very nice. Tyrant Guard. Norn Assimilator, Psychophage, T-Fex. I would actually probably just have this first T-Fex right here, Owen. Just be a Rupture Cannon. Just because of how swingy I think Tyrannifexes are, I think Rupture Cannons, you just kind of want 2 of them. That's probably what I would do. I think everything else is fine. I think you got to make sure that your Harvester units, of course, are following close behind the Hive Tyrant. Make sure that he can heroically intervene, of course. I would be interested to see if there was just a smaller model or smaller footprint. Like if you had a 1 of Pyrovore. that might be good, so that you can just have a single model fall around the Hive Tyrant, just to trigger that, so that, because I think the problem with Assimilation Swarm, and I should probably play more Assimilation Swarm, that sounds fun, but the problem with Assimilation Swarm, I think it becomes like a parking lot very, very quickly, and so it's actually kind of tough to understand how to move and how to navigate around the board. So it could be a tough time. But I mean, if you're able to plan around it, then you should be fine. But anyways, a cool list, Owen. I would try double Rupture Cannon, honestly, in my opinion, before the Acid Spray. Because you're going to have a lot of mid-table pressure from the Norn Assimilator double Psychophage. Yeah, I think. I'm loving Psychophages, by the way, everybody. Yeah. Oh, you guys lost to the same Imperial Knight player? Yeah. I have a strong feeling that we will be hopefully seeing an acknowledgement from Games Workshop on how strong Imperial Knights are. Who knows? I could be wrong. You posted a list 6 days ago, Ozolith? Ozolith, how about this? I'll double up lists next week. Okay, I apologize. I didn't pull it this time around. But go ahead and put your Votann list, and I will post your Votann list, and I'll get the one that you posted 6. I don't know how I missed it. I'll be honest. I apologize. I sorted it from new. I don't know. I did how I always do it. And I must have... Let me triple check that you're not on here. Yeah, I don't know how I missed you. I'll do both of your lists next week. Just do a Votann one, and then do Tyranids, and we'll take a look at it as a stream next week. Sorry, man. Okay. Moving right along, we have Ashton Tucker. He says, love your videos of list reviews. Well, I love your comments on my videos of list reviews, so I appreciate that. I previously submitted a list featuring double Termagants with 80 Termagants and Assimilation Swarm. It was crazy fun and good at gumming up the board, scoring primary, but did struggle to do secondaries without a Lictor or other lone op. Interesting. I'm currently workshopping another odd list for some fun and potential silliness. Was reading over the Crusher Stampede rule, and it states each time a Tyranid monster model from your army makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if that model's unit is below starting strength, and add 1 to the wound roll as well if that model's... Yep. I know that once the single big monsters take a damage, they're getting the +1. Yep. And able to dish out more damage. However, what if we have a big unit of big tough monsters? Then we get high OC on the whole unit for a turn or two to hold an objective. Then when one of our units dies, we charge forward with the +1 to hit buff on several so that they can get multiple hits. All right. Let me read this again. So, makes an attack. Right. What if we have a big unit of big tough monsters? Okay, so is he saying... so you might be... Okay, so the problem with starting strength and everything with Tyranids is if you have a big unit of them, you would have to lose one whole model. So I think what you're looking at here is correct with some of them, like Swarmlord leading 6 Tyrant Guard. Once a singular Tyrant Guard dies, then everything in the unit would get +1, right? Or no? I think it's just the monster. But in the same vein, if you have 2 Tyrant Guard and 1 Hive Tyrant, then you would get the +1 to wound, right? Which is pretty strong. However, the thing that you will notice... Oh my gosh, this list. Holy crap. So the thing with Old One Eye and 2 Carnifexes in this is, in order to get any bonuses to the detachment rule, the way that starting strength works is you would have to lose an entire Carnifex before anybody gets any bonuses. So your 2-man Carnifex plus Old One Eye would have to go to a 1 Carnifex plus Old One Eye. So that could be kind of tough. So in that same idea, the Old One Eye brick will never get +1 to wound at all, because well, at least until Old One Eye's by himself, and then once he gets below half, then he would get the +1 to wound. But however, it's It's not really the best. So I do like. I think we just misunderstood the starting strength thing, and so I think Swarmlord and Hive Tyrant, and then the Neuro Tyrant. Yeah, so it's an interesting idea. However, if you think about it, the Neuro Tyrant and the Zoanthropes, they're gonna have +1 to hit from the Neuro Tyrant's leader ability already. So while they are a good unit, they don't necessarily gain from Crusher Stampede at all, which is unfortunate. I will say, instead of, I think this is more of a case of just not quite understanding Crusher Stampede, but instead of critiquing and rewinding your list at all, I would, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna just post my Crusher Stampede list that I'm working with currently, that I'm trying to test sometime soon. It's Hive Tyrant, Gargoyles, Biovore, Exocrine. Jeez, I'm having a hard time. Exocrine. Yep, triple Exocrine. You heard it here first. Lictor. Maliceptor. Norn Emissary. T-Fex. And T-Fex. And both of these are with Rupture Cannons. Chat, you guys, are there anybody in chat that remember the, what was it? What was the misspelling of T-Fex? Was it like Tex, RC Tex or something? Something about Texas, T-Fex. So this is the Crusher Stampede list that I'm excited about currently. You just have as many like really beefy monsters that go up the field. And you have scoring with the Lictors. Maliceptor hanging out with the Norn is very, very strong, of course. I like double Gargoyles to score a bunch of primary and everything. Because that's how I like to play. But yeah, if that's kind of where I would start, and then we would probably go from there with Crusher Stampede. Who knows? Our third list. Oh, before our third list, I do want to remind everybody our giveaway with Secondhand Geek. I think we have around 30 people entered. We're giving away 3 Norn Emissaries Wednesday night on our live stream. I think like it'll probably be like in the middle of the stream or something. But all you need to do to enter the Norn Emissary giveaway is try to sell something on Secondhand Geek. Go ahead and click our affiliate link down below, and then post something from your pile of shame. If you have something just laying around that is Warhammer related that you think you want, to maybe make a profit off of and enter, to win a Norn Emissary, that could be a good thing to do. So check it out. You have a pretty good chance of winning a Norn. We're giving away 3 of them through Secondhand Geek. So check it out. Somebody's saying I have 45 points missing in this Crusher Stampede list. Oh, yeah, you're right. I think the last one was a Pyrovore. Yeah, I think the last unit was going to be a Pyrovore to snipe cover off for my Maliceptor, or a Neurogons to screen my backfield a little bit more. I think that's kind of just like whichever one you think your list, your playstyle kind of fits. But yeah, nice. Good looking out there, Helltaker. Soul of the Darkstone, how come the 3 Exo? You really seem to like it. Yeah, I think Exocrines are pretty strong. They're very efficient. They allow for everything else to hit a little bit harder. Allows for my Tyrannifexes to hit harder. If you think about it, if Exocrine shoots at something, then the Norn Emissary gets to reroll 1s. So like you could shoot Exocrine at a medium-sized tank or something, and then Norn gets to reroll 1, so all of his hits are going to be hitting, basically. It could be pretty nice. They're just a pretty good, like, all-around good gun into most things. So you can make an argument, like, dropping an Exocrine for, like, a melee piece. I think dropping an Exocrine for, like, a Harspex or Old One-Eye, I would not argue too much about that, but I do like Exocrines. Mark and Friends is our next list here. says, hello, thanks for the awesome content. Here's a crack at the new detachment. I love my Trigons, but open to change. Wow, thank you so much. Let's take a look at it. Subterranean Assault. I really like Subterranean Assault. I gotta figure out what my favorite list is. Just wondering, do the shooting platforms hit on 1 in Crusher? So nothing ever hits on a roll of a 1. So that would be a fail. However, if your Exocrine gets wounded at all, then it can move around and still hit on 2s. Whereas a lot of the times you want your Exocrines to stand still. So they hit on 2s. But if they get hurt at all, then they can just move wherever they want and still hit on 2s. And this is pretty strong. They also hit on 2s in combat too. So in Crusher Stampede, I've actually charged with an Exocrine many a time, for sure. But yeah, moving right along the Subterranean Assault, we have a Hive Tyrant, we have a Neuro Tyrant, Trigon with Trigon Prime, and then a Trigon with Tremor Senses. So that's going to be the redeploy. Just a 1 squad of Termagants, Biovore, Exocrine, Haruspex, Lictor, Maleceptor, Psychophage, Trigon, Zoanthropes. Okay, cool. So I've played a good amount of Subterranean Assault. To mixed success, I will admit. I think all of my stream games I have won with Subterranean Assault. Yeah. But in my personal games, I have not had as good of a record as I have had on stream. And I think you want to think about Subterranean Assault as you want to plan ahead the pockets of like the oops. You want to plan ahead of like different groups of units that want to come out together and either charge something and then really mess them up. So I think this is already kind of like pre-built. In my opinion, like pairing up a Psychophage with a Haruspex is very strong. That's really good because the Psychophage is going to flame, boom, something's going to get an additional pip of AP in combat off of the Haruspex, and so that means that all of the Haruspex small attacks are going to be having AP 2. Which is a really good breaking point, as well as the Big Claws, which will be AP 3. I think that's quite strong. Another good thing would be like the Maleceptor with Trigon Prime. You know, Trigon Prime hits very, very hard, but it is also very fragile. So oftentimes Trigon Prime is going to go out, delete a unit, and then immediately melt. So if you have a Maleceptor there to give -1 to hit to anything within 6 of it, and have that alongside a Trigon, that seems pretty good. In addition, if you just throw a Maleceptor into somebody's front lines, that could be very, very annoying for them to deal with. The T11, 4 up invuln, -1 to hit, -1 to wound if anything's below half, that can be very strong. Zoanthropes, I'm going to be honest with you, I was very, very, very high on Zoanthropes. I think in almost all of my games with Zoanthropes, they have like kind of bounced, or they have just immediately died and I don't get my points back with them. So it's almost like a question like, do we want a whole bunch of Zoanthropes? On paper, this unit with its combos is pretty disgusting. So, I mean, however, in game, I just haven't had an incredible amount of success with them. I know a lot of people are having success with like Tyranifexes. Tyranifexes are strong, so they might be, I don't know. But, and I think that I actually value Raveners over Trigons. This detachment is very CP heavy, so you're gonna want to have to pick up stuff for free, and the Raveners are great with doing that. You can even do things where you're a one first turn charging, because you pick up the Raveners, and then you pick something else up with a CP with stratagem, and then they both come in and you can charge with 6 inches. I did that with Old One Eye a couple of times this weekend. It was very fun. It was very fun. Okay, so enough blabbing. Let's see what we can do with this list and maybe make it a little bit more efficient, and then go from there. I will be honest, I think, in my opinion, that you only want one character Trigon, right? I would rather have, so like, you want this enhancement for sure to go on the Neuro Tyrant, all right? And in my opinion is, like, if we think about it, which of these two units is going to be safer, right? It's going to be the Neurotyrant. Like, you are going to, for sure, have your Neurotyrant more in the backfield than your Trigon. Like, the Trigon's job is to just go out there, kind of delete a thing, and then maybe die, maybe stick around, just cause a problem for your opponent for a turn and then die. So I think having a second Trigon character is just opening up for you to have, opening up for your opponent to have an easier access to assassination. I know it's like a very like niche thing to think about, but if you just move the enhancement over to the Neurotyrant, I don't think right now you're gaining anything from any of your units being characters, right? I think you actually are losing stuff by them being characters because of the possibility of your Trigon getting got. So that's what I think. The Exocrines, I think Exocrines are fine. I'm not super excited about them. I think that you want a little bit more anti-tank in this list. So what I would try to play around with is, like, let's see if we drop these Exocrines and then put a Tyranifex in here. If you think about it, Tyranifex, 200 points, and then we should have 80 points left over, which is great. Boom. And this is going to be Rupture Cannon as well. That way, through your Zoanthropes and your Tyranifex, you're going to have a little bit of redundant anti-tank. Another thing that I've kind of learned is this detachment really, really, really wants, like, screening stuff. You want to be able to kill your opponent's screens, and you want to be able to screen your opponent as well. This was actually something spooky that came up in my game against Orcs on Sunday. I felt like I was doing very, very well, but there was still a chance that he just, like, rolls over me because he was Bully Boys, and I thought my list was really good at screening for one turn, and then I have my go turn. But the fact that, like, I screen his first go turn, then I have my go turn, and then he has a second go turn, is actually really kind of spooky. Because then if any of my go turns whiff or anything like that, it can be a really tough time. So we don't love that. So one thing that I would try to do is convert one of these Trigons to a Ravener squad. I just think you're going to have better use of your CP that way. The Ravener's going to up you down you for free. It'll be a good time. You can always just put the Trigons in Deep Strike, but then it's much harder for them to come out of somebody else's tunnel, so that they're not getting the 6-inch charge, which I think is what you're really, really going to want almost all of the time. So that's going to be at 95 points. 95 points that we have left over. And you know what? If I'm going strictly from what I think is the best, I'm probably just going to go down to the Trigon Prime and just get a second squad of Raveners. I think 2 squads of Raveners is... I don't want to use the term mandatory because that's lame, but I think they're mandatory. Cool. So we have 110 points. Here's the part where chat kind of rolls their eyes, because what I'm most likely wanting to do, upgrade this Termagant squad to Gargoyles, and then use the remaining points on the second squad of Gargoyles. And then I think, so that was 25. 110 minus 25 is 105. Oh, yeah, that's perfectly 85, right? Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect amount of points. This is a cool list. And the reason why I like this list, nice, Vex. Yeah, my Vanguard list that I Parker that I might be playing sometime soon has like a 5-man Gene Stealer squad and then 2 10-man Gene Stealer squads with the Broodlord. And then I've got 20 Raveners in it just because that's how much I own right now. But I think there's a chance that 30 Raveners is pretty sweet as well. So the Rupture Cannon is very good. Zoanthropes, double Raveners, Psychophage. Psychophage paired with almost any of our melee threats is very strong as well. Maleceptor I think is good. Double Lictor. double Haruspex, Biovore, double Gargoyles, Trigon, Neurotyrant, and Hive Tyrant. If we had room to make this Hive Tyrant a Swarm Lord, I highly, highly recommend that. If I were to do a tier list ranking of Subterranean Assault exclusively, I think Swarm Lord would be top of the list. Because the Swarm Lord being able to jump out, do a 6-inch charge, and then just putting his 12-inch Vect Aura directly in your opponent's army is very strong. Nasta, really for Psychophage, I don't really find it efficient right now. Yeah, I can understand that. I think the Psychophage plays multiple different roles. I think the Psychophage, so you could either have it jump out of a tunnel, right? Or just move alongside of where the tunnel's going to pop up, and then give an additional pip of AP for the Haruspexes. They kind of go together. I think if you're running Haruspexes, you want to have Psychophage. Just because AP1 on its small attacks is not really where I want to be. But AP2 and then AP3 on its respective attacks is very, very strong. In my opinion, it's much stronger. In addition, with the Psychophage, it is an annoying unit. It does die, but it takes an actual unit to look at it and kill it. So if you play it right, you can have it be like your first line of defense and make people come out and commit into the mid table, where then your Zoanthropes can pop out, your Maleceptor can pop out, your Haruspexes can tunnel through a tunnel and get whatever substantial unit is in the middle of the field. So that's kind of how I play the Psychophage. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's the best unit in the world, but when you start piling synergies on, it is very, very good. Cool. So I think that list is done. Reminder, let's see where our Wheel of Names, just the memes that we got going on. Oh, it's perfectly scuffed. I love that. We have, you'll see it right over here. We've got Hungry Hippos is our first meme list that we'll be doing. A singleton list where there's only I'm only allowed to have one of each unit. So I'm not going to have double Gargoyles in that meme list. Norn on the Cob. It's going to start with triple Norn Emissary. Then we go from there. I haven't figured out what detachment we'll be doing on that. We can decide as a group. Lictors are us. Vanguard Onslaught, probably all Lictors. One old guy and his friends. This is going to be a list centered around Old One Eye. He'll be the only character involved. And then Bugs That Hug. We're just looking for bugs that do this. You know? So yeah. If you would like to vote on any of these, super chat. But otherwise, moving right along. I believe this is our 4th list. And we will be playing that meme list Wednesday on stream. We've got E. Clements, 99. Let's catch up with chat real quick. Parker, I had double Broodlord with 10 Gene Stealers on my list on Saturday. And it was awesome. Ripped through tile like paper. Parker, did you play Vanguard or Invasion? Were both you guys Invasion? Soul says, oh, by the way, did anybody hear something about the new Rav models? Like, when will they be out? Yeah, so Soul, it's kind of frustrating. I could create an entire soapbox about Games Workshop releases. But what they do is they have a big box, right? That's super exciting. That'll have 2 armies or something with these new models. And then they usually take quite a bit of time before they release the models individually, because they want to sell all of those boxes. And then wait for the sales to die down for those models or whatever, and then reintroduce them. So I think I would say maybe like 2 months from now, I would see Ravners come up. Invasion Fleet, I don't have any Lictors, so I don't think Vanguard is good for me. Understandable. You should get some Lictors, man. Lictors are very good. Oh, the normal ones? I think the normal ones are going to release with the adapted. The adapted ones are in the same box. Yeah. End of August, early September. Nasa, you're on Sub Assault. Awesome. It's a very fun detachment. I really enjoy playing it. It says, hello, W&W. I've watched your vids consistently ever since I picked up Warhammer and the Tyranids last year. I'm a newer player to the war game scene, but I've played 15 games so far in the FLGS Slow Grow event and haven't won a single one. I've always played casually, so it never irritates me when I lose, but I always think this time I've created the best list and then lose. Thanks for being a great creator that talks all about my favorite army. Rooting for you to get to 10K. I would love that. That'd be amazing. Any suggestions for the list? I have a Norn Emissary. I guess that could go in there instead. I like Synaptic Nexus for my theme as High Fleet Kronos as the anti-chaos Tyranid fleet. Very cool. Yeah, Parker, I love the old lictors. I think they're very cool. Is it the one where like the talons are like very like this? This is not the best representation of what I was trying to say, but I can't. They're like skinny and they're like big sights almost. That's the kind that I like. All right, so if we're on a Synaptic Nexus, I will say, who is this? E. Clements. Yeah, hell yeah, Parker. Parker. Once you paint him, I would love to see him in the Discord because I do really love that model. E. Clements, I will say I like Synaptic Nexus. I think it's been poorly designed because it doesn't really give, like, it doesn't support the units you would think that it supports, right? I think it has some pretty good stratagems with fallback in charge, fallback shoot and charge. Irresistible Will is one of my favorite stratagems as well, as you just allows for great efficiency. However, it doesn't fully do stuff. So we'll take a look at the list, but it might be just like if you try a different detachment and maybe use some of the same units, you might have a little bit more success, but who knows? Let's take a look. Hive Tyrant, Synaptic Control. That's a great enhancement. -1 damage is very cool. Neuro Tyrant with Power of the Hive Mind. It's very good as well. We've got Hormagaunts, Termagaunts. It's funny because like I feel like Hormagaunts are one of the units that actually benefit from the detachment because they get +1 advance and charge, and Hormagaunts are our only units that can natively advance and charge. 10-man Termagaunts. Oh, a Tyrannocyte. Wow. We've got Barbgaunts, Biovore, Exocrine, Neurolictor, triple Psychophage, Pyrovores, Screamer Killer, Tyranid Warriors with melee, Tyranid Warriors with ranged, Tyrannofax, Von Rhines, and Zoanthropes. Okay, all right. Yeah, I love my homie Gaunts too, man. Shout out. A couple of things. I think we can make this a little bit more efficient. Now, I'm going to cut some units, and I'm going to suggest some things. It seems like you're a newer player, which is sweet. I love that. So I'm not going to say, oh, here, go buy $400 worth of Tyranids. So we're going to try and build a little bit more around what you've got. And also maybe let's look to see if there's a detachment that, like right from the get-go, if we could switch to a different detachment, maybe there's a different detachment that best fits what you got going on here. Okay. So I think the Tyrannocyte is very cool. However, I'm not sure we're needing it. I think we can use our 105 points better elsewhere. So we're gonna cut the Tyrannocyte for now. 105 points so far. Boop. Things I do like, I really do like the Zoanthropes, and I really do like the Tyrannofax. Tyrannofax, with Irresistible Will, can be very strong if he can just sit still. No Maleceptor, which I understand Maleceptors are kind of hard to get, so I get that. I think it would be interesting if we could do like Psychophage. Like, what if we do like a melee Synaptic Nexus? One more thing that I think we also need to do is or 105 points, I think we group these warriors into one squad of melee warriors, right? So this is 140, I think. Yeah. 140. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put these together. And just have them be 150 points. We're going to take 10 points off the top here. So we're going to be at 95 points. But that also means we're going to have to add a Tyranid Prime, which is going to be 65 points. So we'll have 30 points left over. Bop. Because you want the Tyranid Prime to go with them. I have never tried Tyranid Warriors and Synaptic Nexus. So, but something really cool, you can give them a 5-up invuln. You can give them +1 to hit, so they hit on 2s, reroll 1, sustain hits. It's kind of strong. And then if you put a Psychophage out there and then have it flame, boom, +1 to AP. It seems like it could be an interesting combo. So we have 30 points left over. We don't have any lictors. We do have Von Ryans. I think what we're going to try and do is just upgrade these Termagants to Hormagaunts for sure. I don't think Termagants do anything for you. Hormagaunts actually, like I said, they can benefit from Synaptic Nexus. They also, could also benefit from a Psychophage. And that was only 5 points. And they're only 5 points more expensive than Termagants. In my opinion, they're like far and away super, super, super good. Things that we also want to have. We want to have 2 Lictors. I think the Barbgaunts. I think we do kind of delete the Barbgaunts. Just for right now. 80 points. Did we have a Neurolictor? Okay, so we have 1 Neurolictor. So probably maybe like this 80 points right here. We just convert that into a second Neurolictor. I think I do like the Psychophage additional AP combo, but I don't think we need 3 of them. So we're going to cut an additional Psychophage. And then let's just have this be the last change, because I feel like I'm giving you, as a newer player, I'm like, get this, get this, get this, get this, get this. So if you are able to, 110 points. I'll probably do this. I would cut Von Ryans. This go up to 180. And then probably get a Maliceptor here. I think a Maliceptor, for obvious reasons, likes to be in Synaptic Nexus. Not so that it inherently always benefits from the detachment. I mean, +1 to hit on it is very cool. Irresistible Will, of course. But it's going to allow for other things to also benefit from it. Synapse are up, like your Screamer Killer here. In addition, falling back and shooting and charging with a Maliceptor is very strong, because the best way to deal with a Maliceptor is to tie it up in combat. So if you're just like, hey, if you tie me up in combat, I'm just going to fall back and then charge you or shoot you or do whatever I want, it can be very strong. So let's go top to bottom. The new updated list. Hive Tyrant, Synaptic Control. Neurotyrant, Power of the Hive Mind. Tyranid Prime to go with those spicy melee warriors. 2x10 Hormagaunts. Biovore. 1 Excrin, just as a fun of. I think Excrin as just a one of is also can be pretty strong as well. Double Psychophage to help with that AP. Pyrovore to get rid of cover. That'll help our Maliceptor as well as anything else that wants to shoot. A Screamer Killer, a Maliceptor. Melee Warriors for the Prime. Tyrannofex, and Zoanthropes. Boom. And then Clements, just keep playing games, dude. And if you have a game plan in mind when you're about to do things, I feel like my games always go better at that. Study the secondaries, make sure you know secondaries. I think a big rule of thumb to scoring secondaries in the early parts of the game is have 1 unit that is able to touch the center objective from turn 1, and have 1 unit that is able to go into your expansion objective. If you are able to do those 2 things, and this is with a normal move, so not advancing, if you are able to have 1 unit touch the center, and then another unit also touch your expansion objective, meaning your closest objective, you can score most of the deck from the get-go. So if you just do those things when you're deploying and have those things in mind, you should be set up for a pretty good secondary first couple of turns. Another in-between list. So this is a different... Oh, Jaldrin, what's up? I just got added. No, I think there's a Biovore in there. Yeah. Beep. Parker, yes. So, choose, I think Lictors are pretty good at that. In addition, like I was talking about before, if you want to be more aggressive, with Psychophage is good. In my tournament this weekend, I had a Pyrovore that covered that role. And in a lot of maps, he can just go directly onto the objective. And in some of the maps, he's not able to. But that's okay, Joshua. No worries, man. So just a unit that you are like, okay, this unit is going to get me area denial, and then die. That's fine. Like, if you pay 60 points for a lictor to give you 5 victory points, I think it's pretty good. Worth 6 points for established locus? No, not all of the time. Not all the time. I'm just saying for the ability to do so. In addition, if you're able to line up like a pretty strong crackback after that and able to benefit from your opponent coming out to kill the lictor, I think that's pretty good too. But just having the ability to do so doesn't mean that it's the correct choice every single time. And I hate to say this, but also the fact that challenger cards are around and you're going second, sometimes it might be better to not score 2 points and get a challenger card in the next round than it would be to score 2 points. Or not get 2 points to prevent your opponent from getting a challenger card instead of scoring 2 points. So there's a lot of decisions to be making in that moment for whatever secondaries you pull. But I think having the ability to do those secondaries is probably important, and then deciding whether or not you want to pull the trigger on them. On spending non-battle line units. I don't know. Every game is different, you know? So I wouldn't try and pigeonhole yourself into this lictor's dying. You know? It could be a good thought process. This Thursday night, 8:30 p.m., I'm going to be streaming on TTS with Tau Tactics. So I'll be playing against Tau. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be playing. It might be Subterranean Assault. It might be Vanguard Onslaught. Those are the 2 detachments that I'm excited about right now. So come check us out. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't seen any of Tau Tactics stuff and you're interested in Tau, go check him out. He does a really good job of explaining Tau stuff. He's like the Tau version of me in some regards. But moving right along, we have Darn Vampire Fury. I think this might have been supposed to be Dark. I don't know. I forget. Hello, Veteran Hive Mind. I got a beginner 1.5k list. Would love to hear what you think of it. Thanks. Smiley face. Old Carney Force 1I. Air Force 1. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Is this Invasion Fleet? This is an Invasion Fleet. Old 1I. Broodlord. Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology. I knew it. Neurotyrant. Winged Tyranid Prime. Interesting. A lot of Tyranid Primes today. Hormagaunts, Barbgaunts, 1 Biovore, 10 Gene Stealers, 1 Neurolictor, 6 Melee Warriors with melee weapons, 3 Zoanthropes, 2 Carnifexes. Then to transition to 2K, a Norn, Tyrannifex, a Lictor, and then 3 Zoanthropes. Are you also removing the Tyranid Warriors? I think if you have the Tyranid Warriors, you gotta have the Winged Prime for sure. But yeah, I like the double Carnifexes with 4 Death Spitters is pretty spicy. I like that. That's definitely a very good unit to have. It is a lot of points, but I do feel like you don't need as many points or as many scoring units, like Action Monkey units, in this mission pack as you did in Pry Nexus. So, okay, so let's take a look at this. I honestly probably would not run 3 Zoanthropes. I would either save the 100 points or just not run them at all. I also think transition to 2K, I think you want 1 more screening unit, right? Because at this point, then you only have 10 Hormagaunts. And then if you are playing against an army that's just rushing at you, it could be a tough time, for sure. Also, even though Gene Stealers are kind of like a pressure melee unit, you want to have units that are in front of the Gene Stealers so that your opponent can't just run at your Gene Stealers. You want to be able to tell your opponent when you're activating with them, rather than your opponent forcing you into an awkward activation of sorts. That being said, let's take a look at 1.5k. Honestly, the answer is kind of boring. If we want to keep Carnifex, which I'm assuming we do because the list title is Old Carney Force 1I, which is Air Force 1. So we're gonna keep that for sure. What I would do for 1,500 points, I would cut the zones. Now hear me out. And I would cut the Barbgaunts. So that's gonna be 155 points. And what we could do from there is we would do a second squad of Hormagaunts Oh man, Ozlith. I showed everybody my gymnastic skills. I did like 4 backflips in a row. Right, chat? So we would have 155 points. And then we're down to 90 points after that. Let's see what else we could do. Oh, and then just do another Neurolictor would be kind of sweet. Yeah. And then you have 10 points left over, which is fine. Right? That's what I would do. I just don't think Barbgons are super efficient, and with like 1,500 points, I think you want to be as efficient as possible. Yeah, Parker counted 7 backflips. That was pretty crazy. It was insane. Now, moving to 2,000 points. You have 10 points left over. I think at 2,000 points, I think I'm probably interested in like cutting the Tyranid Warriors and the Winged Prime for a Zoanthrope squad. And then a Tyranifex. I agree. I do like Lictors, so maybe like downgrade one of these Neurolictors to a Lictor. And then you probably want like one more monster unit. George, what are you talking about? I love gargoyles. Oh, that's actually funny. I said I love painting gargoyles with literally the last 2 squads of gargoyles that I have, that I had. I paid my buddy Kyle to paint. So I'm a liar and a fraud. Yeah, they are pretty spiky. But yeah, that's what I think about your list. Dark Vampire Fury. So thank you so much for submitting it. I wish you success in your games. We have 1, 2 lists left. Doot. Maybe 3. 3 lists. 3 lists. Dino Biscuit. Hi, Jordan. Been a fan of the channel for a while now, and your vids are what helped me get back into 10th edition. Been trying to figure out a Subterranean Assault list a few days ago, and this is what I've landed on. But not too sure. Would appreciate if you had look with some comments and critiques. Main idea is to push the mid board with Mouseceptors while having support fire from the T-Fex and teleport/deep strike with the Haruspex, Psycho, and Zoanthropes. Cool. Narrow Tyrant, Winged Hive Tyrant. 1 Trigon with Trigon Prime. 1 Trigon with Tremor Senses. Yeah, I think I would probably do the same thing that we were talking about in the previous Subterranean Assault. Like, you could just put Tremor Senses on the Narrow Tyrant and then change this Trigon to just be a regular Trigon. It's probably better. Like, I think my reasoning is there for it. I'm not... Like, in the past, with, like, Sites of Power, that was a primary mission where you wanted to have extra characters. I just think giving up an additional secondary. I don't think the benefits are right there for us right now. But let's take a look. Double Hormigons, sweet. Biovore, double Lictor, 1 squad of Raveners, 6 Zoanthropes, Haruspex, Mouseceptor, Psychophage, Trigon, and Tyranifex. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think this is good. I would say I probably want to drop this second Trigon. The more I play with just like a regular Trigon, which hasn't been a whole lot because I don't know. I just think having a second squad of Raveners is probably better. We have 15 points left. So basically I'm just converting... Oh, that's right. You did... Thank you, Dino Biscuit. I even wrote it here, and I forgot to mention it. You went -1 Trigon, -1 Haruspex, -1 Horms for Raveners, 10 Gene, and a Broodlord. Okay, cool. So we kind of did that -1 Hormigaunt. And then we did Gene Stealers. Dino Biscuit, I'm so happy you're chilling here with us. Gene Stealers is 150. And then a Broodlord up here. I've seen a couple people run... Dino Biscuit, have you had a chance to run this? Do you like the Broodlord? Like, I think the argument is these guys, and you dropped the hard specs. Oh, so you went, did I already drop the hard specs, or did you go to 0 hard specs? I think that Gene Stealers are okay, but, you know, it's like one of those things like, are we getting the full use of the detachment from that? I'm tempted to try 2 Tyranofexes instead of a 6-man Zoanthrope. But, like, I mean, like, Zoanthropes on paper and Subterranean Assault is very, very strong. But I just feel like we miss the mark quite often. I would agree mostly that this is better. I think you actually want an additional screening unit. You know? It's better to run 5 bricks of jeans or cut them entirely. Okay, cool. So I think they are fine. But let's just do like a thought experiment where if we cut the Gene Stealers, let's see where we can take it, because we'll get 230 points from this, and we'll actually be at, no, I think, is your current list exactly at 2K? I think it is, but I don't know. So what we want to do is we want to have an additional Hormigaunt squad. Ooh. You don't think the zones are good into T-Suns? I mean, I feel like their blast profile is kind of good. Right? Maybe. And then this would be 165 points left over. So let's see what we could do. Man, Winged Hive Tyrants at 170 points is just crazy to me. So good. Dino Biscuit, I would encourage you to try Swarm Lord. Oh, the anti-psyker strat. Yeah, that's good. It's like a 4-up Feel No Pain or something. Yeah, that is definitely bad. That is tough. Yeah. Understandable. I think you should try Swarm Lord. I think Swarm Lord is quite strong in the detachment. So I'm going to take 50 points off of this and upgrade the Winged Hive Tyrant as Swarm Lord. Just try him. I think he's quite strong in the detachment. And then it would be interesting to see if we could get like another Tyranofex with Rupture Cannon instead of this Maliceptor. So that would be 285 points. That's a lot of points, isn't it? But then do we have enough pressure, right? We don't have a Psycho. Oh, you do have a Psychophage. Okay. I really like one Maliceptor, but I think like the second Maliceptor is not as much value. So if we put a Tyranofex in, like even a Flamer T-Fex is actually kind of strong here too, because like he can teleport through the tunnel and get angles on scoring units or anything, and then he's a huge problem, and then you can have the Maliceptor jump through with him. Both of them charge, and that's tough. Do we have enough melee pressure though? Do we need more melee pressure, you know? This is a Trigon Prime. So we would have like, my idea would be Raveners can pick up, and you could teleport a Maliceptor if you wanted. You probably don't. Trigon Prime can go through. Swarmlord can tunnel through. I like using the tunnel network on Swarmlord. I think maybe one additional melee unit. So if we do... If we cut a Maliceptor... Oh, Maliceptors are good, though. 285 points. We could do like a Tyranofex and then something, or we could get probably like 2 more melee units. I've been in love with Harspexes, but they are there. We have double lictors. This is a good list from this point. It's just like that last, and this is my problem with my list too, is I always get to this point where it's like the last tweaking, and I'm like, what do I run from here? Just do Tyrant effects and gargoyles, right? No. If you wanted to lean more melee, and this might be kind of crazy, you could do like a Haruspex and Old One Eye. That would be sweet. Would it be good? I don't know. I'm tempted to go like something with more like screening to help screen out in case people want to like try to come get you. So like it's gonna be, it might seem like a weird pick, but like Von Ryan's Leapers. Or Parker has come up with the actual solution. He said just fill in the remaining points with Ripper Swarms. There you go. But if you do Von Ryan's Leapers and then like a second Tyranifex, one with the Acid Spray or Rupture Cannon, maybe Acid Spray. That could be interesting. I also like, I think the idea, you have 15 points left over. I don't even know if you have a character to do anything with. You know what? 15 points left over. You could bring one of these Raveners back to a Trigon. I think that it would also be fine. You have to play it a little bit more carefully, but I think Trigons, you know, if you have 15 extra points, I think about just upgrading these Raveners into it. It could be fine. It could be pretty good, actually. And you could actually start both of the Trigons on the table, spend your 1 CP to pick both of them up, and then they can tunnel immediately alongside the Raveners. It could be strong. I don't know. This detachment is a tough one to crack, for sure. And I don't think there's one correct list. I think it is all kind of nebulous. I think this is the last list. Oh, no, we have 2 more. All right, let's get going with it. We have M.W. Faulkner. Says, hey, Jordan, I really love your videos. They're always so informative, and I appreciate it so much. As for the first list, this is my first list that I've created. I'm very new to the game and want to get it into 100%. I have 125 points left that I'm not sure what to do it. I was thinking of Raveners because the models look cool, but I'm unsure. I'm not playing competitively, just with friends. I would really appreciate your feedback. Awesome. We're Assimilation Swarm. Nom Horde. 1875 points. Okay. Old One Eye, Swarm Lord. Of course, Dino Biscuit. Thank you so much for submitting your list, man. Wing Tyranid Prime. Parasitic Biomorphology. No Neurotyrant. A Neurotyrant might be just a good, you know. Gargoyles, Hormagaunts. Biovore. 1 Carnifex. I would probably do Shooty. Also, it could actually probably be fine. 1 Exocrine, 1 Lictor. A Norn Emissary. Psychophage. Pyrovore. Melee Warriors to go along with the Tyranid Prime. And then a big old Rupture Cannon Tyranifex. All right. So 125 points. What I think, if we just want 125 points to just put into the list, and I think just fill out the 2K really, really nicely, I would do this. Neurotyrant. He's at 105. And then chat, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? If you know what's happening, chat, let me just upgrade the Gargoyles, right? Or we upgrade the second squad of Hormagaunts. Those are 125 points. I will say that is a very boring. It's a very boring way to do that. Another way you could do it, you could also just slam in Haruspex. And in Assimilation Swarm, I actually think a Haruspex is probably better than Raveners, just because you're going to get more Harvester triggers off of it. Let's look at the rest of the list. Do we have any Lictors? We have 1 Lictor. Cool. I think Tyranid Warriors are too fragile to really benefit from Assimilation Swarm. I don't hate the Norn Emissary, but I don't think it's the best either. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look. Tyranid Warriors, we're going to drop them as well as the Prime, which is 90 points. So that will give us 240 points to play with. A unit I do enjoy. It's maybe a Harspex. Or 240 points, we could do quite a bit. We get like a second Tyranifex and have like a big shooting gun line. And then the last 40 points get another Pyrovore. I like that, actually. Let's do that. Boop. And then one Pyrovore, which is 40 points. 40 points. Have a Psychophage or a Pyrovore. Hang out with the Norn, of course. You know, make sure it heals up. Tyranifexes are very strong. Have them get an angle. I'm curious to see if the Carnifex Old One-Eye Blob is worth it. I know that the Carnifexes can regen, and they might be kind of tough to kill. I do think some armies are just able to just snap and kill Carnifexes pretty easy. Like Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights right now, very spooky. Death Guard as well. The -1 to save really hurts Carnifexes because there's no invulnerable. So take a look at it. Play a couple games with the Norn. Is it worth its points, you know? I don't know. Moving right along. I think this is our last list before we spin the wheel and figure out what our meme list will be. We've got Sanctum Bellum Aeternum. Eternum. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm glad that I found such an informative channel like this, and I'm sure that you could give valuable feedback on my list. I want my army to rush over to the enemies and keep fighting until the end, just like Tyranids depicted in media. Could you give me some advice? I would love to. No guns for Tyranids is the list name. Uh-oh. And it's Synaptic Nexus. Yikes. Okay, well, let's see. I mean, that could be good. Synaptic Nexus does have some melee support. So we'll see. We have a Broodlord, Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, Synaptic Control, Nerve Tyrant with Power of the Hive Mind, and a Winged Hive Tyrant with Dirge Heart of Karis. Very interesting. We have 40 Hormigons, Biovore, Gene Stealers, Lictor, Neurolictor, Norn, Zoanthropes. This is kind of like a Chad list, I'm not going to lie. This is just kind of sweet. You're like, I'm playing melee dudes. I'm slamming them in. I will say you do have a little bit of shooting. So your list isn't fully. Sorry. All right, so there's 2 units that I think we cut, and then we add some things to support the rest of our units, and then we're doing good. I think we're sitting pretty, actually. I think we cut the Gene Stealers. I'm going to cut the Gene Stealers. That's going to give us 230 points. Everything else I actually kind of like. I don't hate it at all. I think it's kind of sweet. If you're running Hormigons, I honestly think, again, it's kind of weird. Like, I've become a Psychophage stan, right? But, like, putting a Psychophage in could really actually help. Ooh, but we might change this. And then I do think that you cut the Winged Hive Tyrant. I think it's cool, but I don't know if it's really what we want to do. So that's going to give us 305 points. And I think we actually end up cutting the Psychophage as well. Boop. So this is going to give us 415 points. And then I want 2 Maliceptors to go with these Norns, right? So that's going to be 340. Maliceptor. Scepter. 340, and then we have 70 points left over. A unit that I actually think low-key is kind of good in gunline armies or armies that want to get onto objectives and things are Von Ryan's Leapers. So like the last 70 points just being put on Von Ryan's Leapers. Seems not bad. Seems okay. And that would short. Very interesting idea. Like 40 Hormigons. Like I said before, Hormigons are actually the only unit in the Codex that fully benefit from every single like imperative within Synaptic Nexus. So I think there might be something there for Synaptic Nexus for sure with Hormagaunts. I don't think it's been figured out yet, but I think it's interesting. And if you've been playing the Gene Stealers and you really like them, let me know in the comments below, and I would be interested to hear about how good the Gene Stealers are in Synaptic Nexus. Maybe they really benefit from the +1 to charge, but who knows? So in a moment, we are going to roll for the meme list that will be playing Wednesday. I'm going to use the restroom, and I'll put it on the Be Right Back screen. Give us a little bit. If you want to vote an additional time and create a little bit more support on any of these meme lists, consider super chatting and just super chat which of these memes that you want to do, and we'll spin it. No worries if anybody doesn't put any additional votes. I will be excited to play the list on stream Wednesday regardless. We have Hungry Hippos, where the start of the list is triple horror specs, and then we build from there. It's been a while since Assimilation Swarm has been on the table, so it's probably going to be Assimilation Swarm. Singleton list is only one unit allowed. Once I've used a unit, I'm not allowed to repeat it in any way. Just moving on from there. Norn on the Cob. The list starts with triple Norn Emissary. And I'm actually kind of excited about triple Norn Emissary. I think they're kind of sweet. Lictors Are Us is going to be a very Lictor-heavy Vanguard Onslaught list. We'll make it together, of course. But I'm going to be using every single Lictor possible. We'll also probably have some Von Ryan sleepers in there as well. One Old Guy and His Friends. The only character there is going to be Old One Eye. And then we're going to do the rest of the list to support him and see what else works with Old One Eye. And then the last one is Bugs That Hug. Every single model in the list needs to be hugging. So like Screamer Killers, etc., etc. So yeah, super chat if you want to vote to give an additional vote to any of these meme list ideas. I'm going to use the restroom, and we will be right back. Here we are. Okay, sweet. Oh, wait, hold up. Wrong scene. Also kind of wrong scene. That's okay. Doo-doo. All right, let's see what we got. I like Norns. Norn on the Cob would be sweet. No, not Bugs That Hug. All right, we're... Woo! Bugs That Hug. All right. Everybody in chat, please let me know what units. I did know Votan doesn't have a a Titanic unit. We're going to make a list of bugs that hug. Chat, let me know what units you think are bugs that hug. I'm thinking like Screamer Killers for sure. I'm thinking Hormagaunts. So I'll probably do... bugs that hug. This is going to be... no. 2,000 points. 3. Boom. All right, let's see how this works. Do Norns count as that? Norns hug? All right. How many Norns are we talking? How many Norns do you think we should do? We also do need to... I think... You know what? I think a Broodlord. He's hugging like this, right? I think he's hugging, man. I think Gene Stealers hug too, right? Three Norns. I'm gonna make the list first. And then kind of go with what detachment. 3 Norns. We'll make the Broodlord a Warlord for now. Let's do 2 Norns. Gene Stealers hug for sure. I agree. Norn Emissaries. And Screamer Killers. Ooh, is this going to be like a Crusher Stampede list and then I'm not going to want the Broodlord? I was excited about Norn on the Cob. Double Screamer Killer, double Norn Emissary. What else hugs? I think Hormagaunts hug, right? They do. Harpoon. Chat, are you guys just convincing me to do like 5 Norns? All right, maybe we just do... How do we feel about 5 Norns, chat? What do we think? Scrap the idea. Can we fit 5 Norns and 2 Screamer Killers? I'm playing Dylan this week. He's going to hate me. Or he might just absolutely demolish. I only 400 points after that. Okay. Maybe we cut 1 Screamer Killer, 465. What detachment do you think? Ozlith, I do really like your logic of assimilators hug you closer with their harpoons. Parasite Chan? Oh man. What are we thinking Crusher? I'm not sure we get anything from Crusher, right? Double Lictor, you know, even if we are not in the I'll do double Hormagaunts. We have 285 points. We still need a character of some kind. We still need to know what detachment we are rolling with. What detachment? Oh, Biovore. Synaptic Nexus? Fall back and charge. And reroll 1s to hit. Hormagaunts. But we would want... Dang. Okay. Alright. He's playing Corn Demons. So I don't want to Tailor, but +3 to charge. Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Can we fit? What should we fit in there? We have 235 points. I don't think it wants to be Old One Eye. We would need like 70 more points in order to fit the Zoanthrope brick, and I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Are we doing Parasite versus the World again? Look, we could do Parasite. And we'd have 155 points. What do we like in Synaptic Nexus? 155 points. I'm so tempted to just do Old One Eye. Thanks, Open Hand Wizard. This is the end of it, basically. But yeah, do we do this? Do we do Old One Eye? Parasite is the Warlord, and we just kind of troll Dylan. More Hormagaunts? We got 10 Hormagaunts, right? 10 Hormagaunts. It's quite a bit of Hormagaunts. I'm worried this just dies. I could only have one Assimilator in reserve. So it'd be like Assimilator in reserve and then Screamer Killer in reserve. That's 200 and... No, that'd be 410 points. And then I'd probably put Parasite. I'm going to send it. Thanks, Open Hand Wizard. You got, I appreciate it, man. I'm going to do this. This is it. This is Bugs That Hug, but it's kind of just Norn on the Cob. So we've got 5 Norns. Thank you again, Bennis, for sending me triple assimilators. He printed them for me, and it was great. 3 Norn Emissaries, double Norn Assimilator, and our detachment is going to be Synaptic Nexus. Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I will play this list on stream Wednesday. It's a very silly one, but I'll be playing into World Eaters with the Demon detachment. So who knows how that will go. It could be really bad for me. But we will see. On Thursday night, 8:30 p.m., I will be hanging out with Tau Tactics. We're going to be doing a TTS live stream. I'm not sure what I'll be playing, but I'll be playing something more on the competitive side because he's bringing, I think, his tournament Tau list. So this should be a good time. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you Wednesday. Bye. I'm looking for my... Where's my... Oh, there it is.